everyone. Happy New Year on this December morning or January morning. We have crossed into 2026 and we just went through a change of season. We're now in the winter season, and winter is, an interesting time of year, of course, where we go within and be quiet. And the elements that we're talking about today all relate to the seasons. And in the winter, we're dealing with water element, which is about flow and ease and grace, and it's courage to face fear and deal with energy from the past that might be coming up, that might have made you afraid, some kind of situation that might have caused fear. So we're working with this idea of courage, ease, and grace. And the kidneys are the organ of the winter season. So we're going to spend a little time with some healing techniques today for the kidneys. My name is Cristo Pilani. I'm a certified energy, sound, and therapeutic movement teacher and healer. And I've been with WeSpark for 2 decades now. And I'm very happy to be here today with you to share these techniques. We have a new 12-part series we're starting today. And this one is ancient techniques and modern, ancient mastery and wisdom mixed with modern techniques for self-healing. So today we're going to start with the fundamentals of self-healing practices, and I'm going to share some techniques with you here shortly. As I mentioned, the classes here are all on Zoom. They can be accessed later. When the recordings are available, you can go review them. I do recommend just being here present without taking notes. And that way you can really kind of not be distracted by pen and pencil and that type of thing right now, but just getting into the idea of getting to know each other in through the space here. Okay. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some different slides or handouts that I'm going to be sending you after the class. And these handouts are designed to kind of step you through the different aspects of this 12-part series, which we're going to be doing across once a month for the whole year. So this first one is the fundamentals of self-healing techniques. And so what I'm going to do is put the screen here on share, and you'll be able to see my screen for a second. And in this series that I have created here, I have some different interesting techniques on paper, so to speak, some different things that I'm going to be sending you. So today, just so you know, we're going to spend a little time talking and reviewing some concepts. Again, you will be getting all of these documents and handouts later. So first of all, what we're going to do in talking about the Vitalize Harmonize self-healing method, Vitalize refers to movement and Qi Gong and energy building to strengthen the meridians and the energy flow in the body, creating flexibility and strength and balance, concentration and focus. And the Harmonize has to do with understanding how sound and energy healing can harmonize what we call the aura or energy field, and also the organs of the body, the internal organs that are obviously very important in our health, but especially through the lens of our emotions and the way that we understand and process emotions. This is something new to many people who are unfamiliar with the idea that emotions are associated with the organs. So we're going to cover all that with each class as we progress. So looking at this fundamentals practice, we have 6 different major components that we're going to be working with as we move along. And the first one has to do with Chinese medicine, 5 elements in wellness. So those of you who have gone to acupuncturists or may know anything about herbal techniques, Chinese medicine, the 5 elements are the foundational basis and structure of the healing practice of Chinese medicine. And so the five elements are interesting because they give us the opportunity to look at our life through how the elements relate to different aspects of our wellness, our emotions, breath sounds, colors, various other elements that concern us with the environment and the season changes. There are sounds that relate to the elements and how they relate to the organs. So we're going to be looking at everything through this lens of Chinese medicine. In the process, we'll discover your unique elemental balance. Some people are more, say, fiery. Some people have more water elements associated with them. Some people are more in the metal element area, where certain qualities of the elements are present in their personality and even in their bodies, in the way that their body functions are. And we're going to discover some interesting things about yourself as we move along, understanding the elements. And then concepts to create your own unique personal elemental wellness plan. As we go along, we'll discover more about the elements, how they relate to you personally. And at the end of the series, we're going to develop a very unique plan that you can use for your own self-healing. So I think this is going to be a really interesting lens to look through whenever we're looking at our own self-healing practice and developing our own self-healing practice. The second pillar here, is therapeutic movement, or Qi Gong, or Qi circulation. So QI is the word Qi or Qi. Qi or Qi is life force energy that we're able to access through our breath and through breathing a certain way and stretching the meridians of the body. We'll talk about the meridians as we go along. Energy channels that allow energy, life force energy, to come into the organs and into the body. So Qi Gong is thousands of years old. It's an incredible practice that is wonderful for a foundational idea of a healing practice. One of my teachers told me that if you do nothing else, if you just learn to work with Qi and Qi Gong, that you will always remain healthy and prevent disease from, having an impact on your health and wellness. So we're going to explore what we call medical Qi Gong. And this is related specifically to each of the five major organs of the body. And that is the heart, the lungs, the stomach, or spleen, the bladder, kidneys, and also the liver. So each of those organs has an element associated with it, and we will be discussing that as we move along as well. So each of the Qigong movements that we do will help to tonify or energize or balance one of those organs. So this is a very powerful way to do Qigong as a process, as a method. So we'll be learning about meridians, energy channels that allow energy to flow through the stretching, and the brocades that we use have stretching, balancing, and strengthening components to them. So this, again, is the Vitalize part, where you will really build some resilience in your physical body. And these are not difficult. They're actually pretty easy, and with practice they get easier. There's also a mental focus and concentration enhancement that happens with Qigong, where there's a mindfulness, in a way, where you're right here in the present moment, and the focus and concentration that comes with it actually is part of the benefit of a steady Qigong practice. And then the result of that is an emotional calm and centeredness that you'll find from regular practice. It's a really wonderful way to calm your mind and relax your body, and do all of this in one sort of process. So I really have to say that I'm real excited about the Qigong component that we're going to be doing. And so what I'd like to do right now is just take you through one aspect of the Qigong that I will be sharing with you, various aspects of Qigong. This particular one I like to do, we have a certain number of warm-ups that we're going to be working with as we go along. But today I just want to do a simple one, little warm-up for you, and then this one brocade for the lung and one for the heart. And some of you have seen this before, but if we're reviewing, we're going to be doing a lot of reviewing of material that we've talked about before, so we really get this information ingrained and easy and into our systems here. So we're rubbing our fingernails together like this creates a circulation right away into the extremities of the body, into the fingertips. And when you smack your hands together and rub them together, we're creating some heat in the palms and activating these energy centers in the palms called the Qi Gong chakras. So the Qi Gong chakras are where you here in the center of the palms, when you access like healing practices like Reiki or Tuina, hands-on healing, those are all when the hands are activated and heated, which is nice. Now we're shaking progressive muscle groups here called mentastics, just the hands and fingers up to your elbows, and we're shaking just these muscles. Now come up to your shoulders, and now get your shoulders in it, and notice that you're breathing here also. Shake up your belly and chest, and if you can't stand, if you're sitting, you can do this sitting. Hop if you can, if you're standing, like you're jumping rope, and then raise your hands up high and shake them. Now notice, if you can, the little energy between your hands as you put your hands here right above your belly or your dantian. You may notice a little tingling, and we like that feeling. It tells us energy is moving. And now here is your Hara center right below your navel. And if you're identifying as female, it's the left hand over the right, over the dantian. In my case, it's right hand over the left. And this area, the dantian, what we call the dantian or Hara center, second chakra of the body, is the most concentrated energy center in the body and gives us the ability to really connect to our creative passion, sexuality, all of our centered, concentrated emotions. So this is really an area that we are going to be nurturing and understanding the depth and power of this Hara Dantian center. So here is the place where you can access how you feel. And I'm just going to ask you just to take a moment and just check in to see how you feel today. There's a lot going on in the world at large, and we know that we can be impacted by the various aspects of, the world's motions and shifting circumstances, things that impact our relationships and the events of the world. So just notice how you feel. Whatever you're feeling right now is fine. There's no judgment on any feelings that you have. You just want to welcome everything here so that you can be as present as possible and feel that whatever's happening to you, you're okay. There's nothing wrong with how you feel. We're not pushing anything away or judging it. So take a deep breath by breathing in, push the belly out. Exhale, pull your belly back to your spine. Now, even this practice of breathing like this and standing this way will help you get centered and calm in the present moment. It's a mindful type breathing practice. And so as you check in, just imagine yourself here, creating a space for yourself on how you'd like to feel at the end of the session. And where do you see yourself at the end of the session? What is your desired state of consciousness? And just see yourself there as if you actually can access that right now in the moment. And then your affirmation, breathe in again, push the belly out, exhale. Affirming that I love, accept, and appreciate all aspects of myself unconditionally. I love, accept, and appreciate all aspects of myself unconditionally. Okay, now let's begin by just shaking And then begin these arm swings, which just go back and forth. Very simple. Keep your spine straight. And if you want to breathe, you can breathe 2 in and 2 out. So like breathe in and breathe out. Or just however it feels natural for you. Coordinating your breath with your movement can be very powerful. It's not required or necessary, but it can be a really nice technique. Now come up and tap your lungs. When you tap your lungs, you're activating this metal element energy and giving the lungs a little jump start. We like to focus on lung and heart brocades and Qi Gong to start our practice, so we get the cardiovascular aspect of energy moving in the upper body here. And now we're going to come up and tap the shoulder. In the space between the neck and the shoulders, give yourself a little tap here. This tapping business is really powerful for activating energy. We're going to learn some techniques later about tapping in specific areas of the body to help release emotions. This actually helps to activate a very important nerve that we're going to be talking about a lot in our nervous system, called the vagus nerve. And we'll spend some time with that later. And now just come down and go a little faster with your arm swings. Good, good, good. And shake it out and have your first sip of water here. Okay, now tapping. You're going to lean forward and tap your kidneys here from the back. Tapping the kidneys. Activate that water element energy here in the kidneys. I mentioned it's winter, and the kidneys are the predominant organ of the winter. And now this area here, right at the quad where your legs join your torso, we call the Sea of Qi, or the quad area. By tapping this, it gives us a nice reboot of energy here in the lower dantian area. Helps your digestion, gets blood flow and circulation going here. And now come up and tap the thymus. Right above the sternum here, this is your immune system area, which enhances your immune system and your immunity. So you can do these types of tapping exercises anytime during the day. If you're feeling a little sluggish or you just want to get a little energy boost. I like to do about 50 of these in the morning to get myself started. And now drop your hands down with your feet shoulder width and just have your hands face up to the sky for a moment. And close your eyes. Now this feeling that we have in our hands and the tapping, the tingling in the body, this is energy flowing through your body. It's starting to energize the cells. You feel a certain warmth or energy flowing and enhanced awareness of your energy. Breathe through your hands from the sky, a white column of energy through the hands. Exhale through your feet, a red column of energy into the earth. Breathe in through the hands. Exhale through the feet. This is our standing Wu Ji meditation. You can also do a sitting Wu Ji in the same way. A very nice way to kind of get your mind centered and calm. Now open your eyes. We're going to lift up from the hara. Breathe in and reach up to the sky and then circle down to your thighs. Keep your back straight. Breathe in, lift up, and circle down to the knees. Breathe in up from the knees, and circle down to your shins. Lift up again from the shins, breathe in up, circle down to the earth. Now gather up earth energy here, and sprinkle around you. And then bring your hands here to what we call standing tree. Now just gently bounce your hands in front of your heart. See if you can feel the connection between your body and your hands, like that energy field that exists between your hands and your body. This is the first availability that we have to touch with what we call the aura or energy field, biofield. Biofield contains energy of our thoughts, feelings, and other spiritual qualities that exist in this field of energy. And so your affirmation here is, my energy field is strong, clear, and resilient. My energy field is strong, clear, and resilient. All of my thoughts and feelings in this present moment are positive and repowering. All of my thoughts and feelings in this present moment are positive and repowering. And now we're going to expand our field for the good of all, and come in, bring your left foot in, hands over your dantian. Breathe in, push the belly out, exhale. Okay, shake it out and have a sip of water. So that's one little sort of aspect of a warm-up that we're going to do. Each time I'll add a little bit more to it. If you place your hands like this with your fingers like this is a mudra for your lungs. Stand as wide as your shoulders. Drop your arms down with your backs of your hands facing, with the fingers pointing down. Now here you're in emptiness, right? Back is straight. So here we're going to lift, breathe in, open and expand, point the fingers up to the sky, visualize white, pure metal energy, Qi, coming into the lungs. Exhale down. With that breath sound. Once again, lift, breathe. Visualize white coming in to the fingertips into your lungs. Metal energy for clarity and discernment. Exhale this sound. And one more, lift, breathe. Expand the lungs. Bring in the white Qi through the fingertips into the lungs. Exhale. Close your stance again over your dantian. Breathe in and out. Great, great shake. And now this mudra for your heart. Heart Qi Gong, same thing. Stand as wide as your shoulders. Elbows at your sides, palms facing up with this mudra in your hands. Now we're going to come back and sweep the kidneys. Come around the front with the backs of the hands almost touch. Push up and out, expand out. Push the palms outward and visualize red fire element Qi coming into the heart. Life force, energy, heat, blood, Qi into the heart. Exhale. Emptiness, here we go once again. Sweep the kidneys, lift, breathe in, drop down, expand the heart, red fire Qi coming in through the palms into your heart. Exhale. Palms up again, come around and push up. And the heart. Energy coming through the palms, red fire Qi into the heart. Exhale. And now come back to the dantian, close your stance, breathe in and out. And now a nice centering exercise. Again, stand as wide as your shoulders, drop your left hand under the right underneath the dantian, as if you're cupping all this wonderful emotional energy here. This is a really nice, easy centering exercise. We're going to lift the left hand up, breathe in, down the center. Exchange the Qi with the right hand, lift up. Very easy and wonderful way to get yourself centered and keep your energy nice and centered here. Through the chakras, breathe in up. And up. Switch the Qi into each hand as you come down. Exhale down. Exchange the Qi, lift up, breathe in. And one more. And close your stance, hands over your dantian. Now close your eyes for a moment, if you will, and just check in You may notice already you feel a slight difference in the way that you feel. You might feel a little lightheaded, maybe a little less tension in your body. Your mind may be calmer. So go back to your intention. How do you see yourself at the end of session? Go back and see yourself there again. Visualize your desired state of consciousness in the way that you would like to feel at end of session. There's a terminology called virtualizing where you kind of feel it and see it and maybe notice a smell that's familiar to you, or it really feels like a virtual experience for you. And now your affirmation here. I treat myself and others with love, kindness, respect, and compassion. I treat myself and others with love, kindness, respect, and compassion. All right, open your eyes, hands over your heart. Namaste, everybody get some water and we'll have a seat here. So that's an introduction into some types of Qi Gong. We're going to be talking more about Qi Gong. It's a very fundamental piece of our self-healing practice. And as we go back now to our little handout here to give us a little structure for the session, if we go to the third component here, central nervous system or tonification basics. So our central nervous system obviously is the most important sort of awareness that we can have for our self-healing in terms of how energy is moving in our body. Once you understand how stress and trauma affect the central nervous system and the various aspects of how to manage that, you can really accelerate your self-healing very quickly. We're going to explore the vagus nerve and polyvagal theory and the tonification techniques for that really important nerve. The vagus nerve exists here and behind the head at the top of your spine at the bottom of your skull, and it runs the length of your body and touches in with all of the organs. Vagus nerve actually means a wandering nerve, so it has incredible implications in terms of exchanging information between the organs and the brain, and the energy of emotional qi and digestion and all the important body functions. But we're going to take a look at some handouts here in a minute so you can understand this a little better. The polyvagal theory is a theory that gives us information on understanding, processing information, and how to work with tonifying this important nerve so that you can have consistent responsiveness to stress rather than reactivity to it. The sympathetic nervous system is when we find ourselves being affected by stress or fear or anger or worry, these emotions that cause anxiety, then we have reactions in the physical body. We have cortisol that dumps into the blood. Our breath gets shorter, our heartbeat gets faster and shallow, muscles get tense. They sometimes call it fight or flight. So this is what we call sympathetic. Parasympathetic, on the other hand, is when the body is able to respond to stressful situations, where your breathing gets deeper, your heartbeat slows down, your body muscles relax. So all of these techniques that we're doing with Qigong and breathing and meditation, visualization, are all going to help with this idea of creating a parasympathetic in the moment awareness in our nervous system. And in so doing, we're going to access what we call the feel-good hormones. Instead of cortisol, which is the stress-induced chemical in the brain, we're going to be looking at how to access dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, the feel-good hormones and chemicals that'll help us kind of maintain a calm and centered state, even in the face of challenging emotions. And then we're going to explore some sound healing techniques for harmonizing the central nervous system. And a lot of that is a simple thing like humming which is what we do at the beginning of our practices here with organs and balancing the organs with sound, which we'll do shortly. Humming creates a certain connection of vibration in the head and neck area, and it stimulates the vagus nerve. This is really a simple but very effective way to kind of get a stimulation going in the vagus nerve. So we'll be doing some humming practices in a little bit here. But first I want to share with you some handouts here that you can take a look at so that you can see a little bit more what we're talking about here. And we look at, for example, the polyvagal theory, what I mentioned before. This is a very complex thing, but the vagus nerve is a pathway for rest, digestion, and healing in the body. The dorsal vagal pathway is responsible for triggering the freeze and shutdown or disassociation that comes with stress. So one is responsiveness, one is reactivity. And you can see it's associated with feelings of responsiveness, with safety, social engagement, and emotional regulation. Whenever we have a fight or flight or shutdown, it's fear, anxiety, disconnection. We're going to talk about these emotions a little bit more as we move along. So the vagus nerve regulates physiological and emotional responses to stress and social interactions. And so we're going to be working with this idea of how to work with the vagus nerve using various techniques. So this is pretty complex. Whenever you get into all of the components of it, you can see it has many different pieces to it. And one of the things that I like to think of it is the vagus nerve is like the body's brake pedal. The vagal pathway is like a brake pedal for our body. When we feel safe and calm, it slows down our heart, helps us to breathe deeply, and promotes digestion and rest. So you can look at it that way. It's an interesting kind of concept to contemplate whenever we're working with this idea of, the ability that we have to regulate our nervous system. So this is the polyvagal defense hierarchy, which gives us a little bit more information here, where you can see at the top of this is terror and overwhelm, where we have fight or flight, freezing, fainting, this like the really bad aspects or difficult, challenging aspects of stress and trauma. Here, the neuroception of danger, which is social survival, conflict behavior. These are fight or flight, fidgety type behaviors also, very much associated with survival. And down here, the neuroception of safety is social engagement, rest and digestion. This is what we're talking about in terms of responsiveness. Parasympathetic nervous system as compared to sympathetic nervous system. So you can see there are reactivity up here, and then slowly we learn to respond and feel safe and secure here. And over time, you can see as we move, it's sustainable. So it's something that is not just a temporary fix. Whenever we're working with these techniques, they will give you an opportunity to sustain this healthiness in the nervous system. And then one final thing here are regulation techniques, which I'm going to send you. There are many different things here that you can use for this workbook. Understanding your nervous system, accessing and addressing nervous system analysis and stress management, regulation and resilience, active engagement, strategies for self-care, and sustained reflection. You can see that a large part of what we're talking about in the elements of this class, a lot of it is like subgrouped into this understanding of the nervous system. Now this one I want to show you right here is an interesting depiction of the energy field surrounding the body. So you can see our physical body here, bones, muscles, energy meridians in the physical structure. obviously we're familiar with that because we're in our bodies every day. We know that, how that feels to access the energy of our bodies. When we do Qi Gong, we really feel it in the physical. The etheric is the first layer away from the physical. And if you've heard of the chakras, which we're going to talk about, the chakras, the energy centers, this is where energy interfaces into the physical in the etheric. The astral, the yellow one here, is our emotions. A little further out is where we hold our emotions. This is a very, very powerful area of energy centeredness in the body. And what I've learned is if we can process emotions and learn how to digest them, so to speak, and in that way, as we were talking about with the central nervous system, regulate and manage our emotions, then our physical body stays a lot more healthy and resilient. So a lot of times if something's happening in the physical, if it's a tumor, if it's some type of ache or pain or inflammation, a lot of times what we know is that if emotions are in the field, in the energy field that haven't been processed and they've been there for a long time, something that caused trauma or constant, stress that hasn't been processed, it ends up becoming very subconscious. It ends up in our muscles, in our organs. So the more we purify our energy field, the better our physical body responds. And that is also true of your treatments if you're in treatment. And then here, one layer out more is what we call the mental field, where your thoughts are. So we know that thoughts and feelings, the interaction here between thoughts and feelings, have a lot to do with preventing physical difficulties or disease that gets into the physical. And then as we go out further, cosmic, Buddhic, atmic, these are more of the lighter spiritual types of energy areas that we access through meditation and visualization. So this is a really interesting way of looking at your energy field and its sort of health and wellness profile. And again, I'll be sending these to you so you'll have them. Now, just for a moment, whenever we talk about the energy field and the emotions, I'm going to go back for a second and I'm going to give you a technique here to, and some of you have already experienced this, some of you may not have. I'm going to ask you to sit up straight and just really kind of get connected here to being in a calm, centered place. You might want to have a sip of water before we do this. And this is a technique using the voice and what we call harmonizing the organs with voice and Qi. So I'd like you to consider, put your hands on your kidneys and the small of your back if you can reach them, or just feel the energy connection to the kidneys. And close your eyes for a moment and just connect in with the feeling of the energy of your hands touching your kidneys. Now, if you can visualize the color blue, imagine that there's blue energy here in the kidneys. Now, visualization, this aspect of energy healing that we call visualization, can be challenging for people if they're not familiar with visualizing color. But if you picture in your mind a blue sky, a beautiful blue sky, everyone can refer and relate to that. You've seen that many times, especially in Southern California. And if you can just picture yourself looking up at the blue sky, that beautiful color of pure blue sky, or the blue that comes with the ocean sometimes. And visualize that that color is present in your kidneys. And so as you have this energy connection to the organ, just feel the energy from your hands sending heat and light and healing Qi to the kidneys. Now, kidneys are powerful water element organs, and they are associated here with the fight or flight. The adrenals are sitting on top of the kidneys, so fear and things, energy from the past, is often associated with the challenges of the kidneys. When we have strong kidneys and good renal function, all the other organs in the body are more balanced as well. So we're going to just take a moment to connect with fear, the energy of fear. Fear is really very prominent in the world today and in our lives, our circumstances, events, and relationships. If you've been experiencing fear in any way, something from the past that's coming up again to kind of create this sense of being afraid, it has a lot to do with repressed emotions and traumas from our earlier years of things that we haven't cleared. And a lot of it is subconscious. It's not even what we're aware of. So just feel the energy of fear if it's been around you. Let it be present in your kidneys. Visualize blue water element Qi in the kidneys. Now take a deep breath in. And we're going to hum on the exhale. Just create the humming to create a connection to the organ and the vagus nerve. Breathe in and humming again. Now take a cleansing breath here with this sound on the exhale. Shwee, 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 shwee. And now standing in emptiness, if there's been fear around you, allow it to be present. Breathe into the kidneys. Push the belly out. Visualize blue water element Qi. And we're going to let go of all of that past fearful energy, challenging energy with the sound O. Here we go. Let it go. Oh! Without breathing, create an intention to energize the kidneys. Breathe in, push the belly out. Feel the energy in the kidneys. Now, courage, ease, and grace. And we're going to exhale O to tonify the kidney. Here we go. Oh! Now a nice cleansing breath again. Breathe in and exhale. Shwee, 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 shwee. Have a sip of water. Relax your hands and face. Okay, so now just notice for a moment how you feel after that experience. What we did is we got in touch with the organ that's associated with a certain emotion. In this case, it was fear or trauma, something from the past that has made you afraid. And then we allowed that to be present without judgment, right? We just noticed it. It's here. And then we released it with a certain sound here. In this case, it's the D, the note D on the harmonium, which is associated with the kidney. And when we use the sound O, the vowel sound O, we're able to release that energy and then tonify, bring good energy into the kidneys. So this is a technique that we're going to be sharing a lot of in our practice here, where we're talking about healing, energy healing, and sound healing techniques. So the energy healing, of course, preventive techniques for the biofield or the aura, we just discussed that idea of having techniques of instruments that we're going to use later, like the monochord here, or some of these sound bowls that I have in my studio that we heard. And we're going to talk about how these instruments affect our energy field. The chakras are important in understanding also when we talk about chakras in the endocrine glands in the body, how the chakras affect our overall wellness in the energy field. And we talked about the etheric part of our energy field and where the chakras are. There's seven primary ones. Each one of them has different qualities to them. And the sounds that we're going to be using and techniques for Qi Gong and other aspects of energy healing we're going to be doing here will help harmonize the chakras. So the harmonization is a lot with sound and also with breathing techniques and visualization, meditation, understanding how to breathe and meditate and visualize. These are skills that we'll learn as we go and practice with our different techniques that we have here. Sound healing and emotional key theory. Number 5 is harmonizing the emotions and organs with voice and chi, which we just experienced with the kidney. So also harmonizing the biofield, which we talked about before, using these different sound healing instruments, which we're going to experience in a short time here. And then mindfulness techniques for anxiety management, which is a very unique class that we're going to do later that gets into journaling, using journaling. Some of you may remember we had this experience in the classes before where we're working with journaling techniques and visualization. It's kind of a combination of things using the neuroscience of self-compassion. So this will give us an opportunity to really be aware of how we feel just about ourselves, the language we use to talk about ourselves, and the ability to be self-compassionate in releasing energy and emotions that aren't serving us, and then be able to create affirmative statements to bring that energy in. And there's a special class that we'll have later called Embodying or Sacred Intentions, which has a lot to do with bringing energy of positive affirmations into the organs. And then finally, there'll be many resources that I'm going to share with you. Handouts and charts, online forums, follow-up coaching, which will be available through me, and progress monitoring if you feel that you would like to experience more in terms of a deep dive into aspects of the self-healing. So just to kind of go over maybe one final piece here, I'd like to just kind of go over the 5 elements. There's a chart that I sent the last time and one of our classes that really gives an idea how these elements work and what organs they're associated with, what energy emotionally they're associated with, what colors they're associated with, what seasons they're associated with. It's a beautiful pneumatic system of connection between the elements and all of its related energetic fundamental components. Now, this is a little bit tricky when you look at it, but if you look, the empowering cycle here goes in a circle going clockwise. So each of these elements, basically they empower the one that they're sending energy to. So fire, for example, empowers the earth. Earth empowers metal. Metal empowers water. Water empowers wood. Wood grows from water, and wood, of course, burns and empowers fire. So when you see, just in terms of this, the basic fundamental idea of the organs then become emotionally associated with it. Heart, stomach, lungs, here in the water element area, kidneys, bladder, here, wood, liver. And each of these organs has a certain energy associated with it that is related to the way that this cycle works. It's a really beautiful way of understanding emotions. Here we have what we call the co-cycle. This star in the middle is a diminishing cycle. The outside cycle is an empowering cycle. Each of the organs, each of the energies kind of empower the following organ. Here, they diminish it. For example, fire melts metal. Metal chops wood. Wood absorbs earth. Earth absorbs water. And water puts out fire, right? So it's an interesting way where we have empowering in a circle this way, And then we have diminishing in a star on the inside. But we'll talk more about this. This is a really nice depiction of color and using the circle and the star as the geometry that are associated with these cycles. So I'll send these out to you, and we'll probably review this a little bit more as we go along so that you understand exactly how this cycle affects your health, your emotions, and your wellness. Okay, so there's the 5 elements. Now, what I'd like to do now, since we've talked about the various aspects of our work here, the different pillars of our practices that we're going to be having, I would like to share another Qi Gong exercise with you, and then we'll have you relax into what I call a sound harmonization, using different instruments in my studio to help you have a nice, relaxed, deep meditation to end our class today. And then we'll open up the gates for a little bit of question and answer or reflection at the end, okay? So what you want to do first, I'm going to go ahead and put myself on the spotlight here. And we're going to do this Qi Gong exercise. And this is a very powerful way to kind of clear all the organs and kind of just get a nice balanced emotional feeling right away in a very short period of time using a very simple process. So we're going to start with our feet together. First, take a sip of water again. And we're going to start with our feet together. And again, left hand over the right if you're identifying as female. Breathe in, push the belly out. Exhale, pull your belly back to your spine. Now again, just feeling this energy in the hara, the most concentrated energy center in the body, the dantian, it's also known as second chakra. Just feel the energy here. Feel the powerful concentration of your emotional qi here. And now take a step to the left and begin to bounce your hands very gently away from your body, where see if you can feel that energy, like a little slinky of energy between your hara center and your hands. Just kind of stretch, pull the energy out away from the hara center. And now flip your hands as if you have the energy now contained in your hands. Right hand facing down, left hand facing up. And see if you can actually feel the ball of energy here in your hands. This gets easier with time. You'll actually notice, wow, I can feel that. You know, it's pretty cool whenever you get it and really get to feel it. Now we're going to begin to stir this energy as if you're swimming, creating a circle, and distribute the energy through your energy field here. Make a little big circle, get it going all the way, breathe. And just go as fast as you can. Now down to the earth, gather up earth energy. Breathe into your heart. Exhale loving kindness. Cross up from the chakras, point the palms up and visualize white metal qi in the lungs. Exhale down to the earth. Gather up earth energy again into the heart. Exhale loving kindness. Cross up again, point the palms up, red fire element qi in the heart. Exhale to the earth. Gather up earth energy to the heart. Exhale loving kindness. Cross up through the chakras, point the palms up. Yellow golden energy in the stomach, earth energy. Breathe it in, exhale down to the earth, gather up from the earth into the heart. Exhale loving kindness. Cross up, this time breathe in blue water element energy into the kidneys. Water energy, blue. Exhale. To the earth, gather up from the earth into the heart. Exhale loving kindness. Cross up. Green wood element energy in the liver. Green flexible wood element energy. Exhale. to the earth, and come up and sprinkle around you. Come again to your standing tree. And again, your affirmation: my energy field is strong, clear, and resilient. My energy field is strong, clear, and resilient. Now close your stance, hands over the dantian. Breathe in and out. Great, great, my friends. Okay, now have a sip of water, and then find yourself a nice, comfortable place to lie down. And we're going to just let yourself relax onto the floor in a way where you feel completely relaxed, like in a shavasana. Lie down, just let the body relax. Close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths. And as you're breathing, visualize energy coming up through the base of your spine, going through all the cells of your body, and exhale through your feet. So breathing in through the base of the spine, and then exhale through your feet. And just take a couple of nice, easy, deep breaths. Same way, in through the spine, exhale through the feet. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel the energy of the earth in and out. Ground yourself. Feel the safety and structure of the earth. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the safety and energy of support of the earth in, out, and just continue to breathe in that fashion. Now take a deep breath and put some energy into your toes and your feet. Tense the muscles, breathe in, exhale. Now tighten up your thighs and your calves. Breathe in, exhale. Bring the energy up into your hips and lower abdomen. Tighten the muscles, inhale and let go. And now come up to your solar plexus and your stomach. Tighten the muscles in the solar plexus and stomach. And let go. And now come up to your heart and place your hands over your heart. And feel the energy of your heart beating in your hands. Imagine a pink rose quartz color around the heart. Breathing into your heart, a deep breath of compassion for yourself and others. Exhale. Feel the drum connecting to your heart, sending energy from the heart to the drum to the earth, and connecting to the heartbeat of the earth. Breathe in a feeling of gratitude and healing into the heart. Send that energy through all the cells of your body. And exhale. And a breath of forgiveness in your heart. And just unconditional love for self. Feel the self-loving energy coming through your heart, through all the cells of your body. Exhale. And just nice, easy breaths into your heart. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back into the space. And come back onto the screen when you feel ready. Hello everyone. Have some water, have a good sip of water.
That was wonderful, Christo.
Oh, that makes me happy to hear that. Everybody okay? Just come on back into the space.
Yes, we are feeling great.
Thank you, Christo.
Great, great, great. Okay, so in this space that you're in right now, just take some time to relax away from your computer, drink a lot of water, and I always recommend taking a moment to, draw a bath and put some lavender in there and just relax a little bit. Take some time for yourself. Reflect a little bit about today's class, maybe what questions you might have, and any insights into your own process. And please do, send me the emails if you have any questions, or you can contact Michelle and she'll put you in touch with me. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and end our recording for now.